Granola opens the door to a room where an elderly man rocks both her and Jarell's boys up and down, the pair of them laughing in his arms. She almost immediately got into a fighting stance before the kind look in the man's eyes disarmed her. He held up her child in one hand, while still holding baby Kal-El.
I hope you didn't mind. The little ones were yelling something fierce, especially little Goku. The man laughed.
Goku? Hine asked, furrowing her brow as she held her boy close to her chest.
I didn't know what to call him. The little green-haired boy only told me the name of baby Kal-El. I gotta say, if I didn't know you were aliens, those names would hurt my head. He laughed.
Hine was stunned, to put it lightly. Not only did this man know they were aliens because Granola told him, though if she was being honest, the tales were a little bit of a dead giveaway, he hadn't cared. He just wanted to make sure they were okay. What kind of planet was it that she'd landed on? The choice had worked out even better than she thought.
Goku, she repeated. Her son was going to need a name, and the Saiyans were gone. Maybe an Earth name would be a good way of breaking into their new lives.
6 months. Raditz had been bumbling around the darkest pits of space for 6 months, and he was still nowhere close to finding this Earth place. Heck, he'd only now managed to stumble into other sentient life. This place, nowhere, was the best he'd come across in all that time. He was having actual conversations with people again, which was a plus. The biggest minus, though, was that his pod broke down. It was why he landed in this stupid place in the first place. He was stuck, without a credit to his name. The best he could do was resort to stealing if he didn't want to level the place, which would have been a very bad idea, even if it wasn't against his personal morals. A hotspot like this? The Green Lantern Corps would be on his ass in a second. He had almost everything necessary to put his ship back together. Then he would be back on his way, without a clue where his way was. He just needed a new core for his engine, and he knew exactly where to get it. Bardock sighed. 6 months of living on this mudball, and all he'd really done was bum around, helping the old man with farming and training in solitude. The latter was about the only thing that gave him any peace, but what was he even training for? Could he get strong enough to face that Frieza bastard with all the paltry strength available to him? He did more research on the planet when he landed. Earth maybe had 2 people who were strong enough to aid him. One, this Captain America guy, was apparently strong enough to end a war single-handedly, but he died over 50 years ago. The other, a guy named Blue Marvel, was a guy who probably would have been a match for him, according to all the records. He might have been able to make do with him, but he disappeared over 40 years ago. The only other guy who was mentioned to be above regular human strength was this Black Panther guy, a title that had been passed down. Supposedly every Panther had been pretty strong, but he couldn't sense his energy, so he couldn't have been that impressive. Not to mention he wasn't allowed in this Wakanda place that the guy lived in. Fighting his way into that place wouldn't have been that conducive to getting his help.